You've probably heard that caffeine is a stimulant that gives you energy, but what does that really mean? In this video, we're going to show you how caffeine works in the body and the surprising ways it can benefit you. Welcome back to Naturally Healthy Today. Don't forget to subscribe because we love subscribers. Now back to the caffeine video. In this video, we're going to talk about one of the most popular substances in the world, caffeine. A lot of people think they know everything about it, but we're here to show you some things you may not have known. So strap in and get ready for a wild ride. Caffeine is a naturally occurring stimulant that can be found in coffee, tea, chocolate, and some sodas. It is also added to many energy drinks and supplements. Caffeine works by stimulating the central nervous system, which can improve alertness and focus. How does caffeine stimulate the nervous system? Caffeine works by stimulating the central nervous system, which can improve alertness and focus. The caffeine molecule binds to receptors in the brain that are responsible for regulating wakefulness. This increases the activity of neurotransmitters such as dopamine and norepinephrine, which leads to an increase in alertness. However, it is generally safe for most people when consumed in moderation. The resulting increase in alertness is why people often drink coffee or tea to help them wake up in the morning. One study showed that caffeine improved participants' reaction time and accuracy on a task that required attention and focus. Another study found that caffeine helped students to remember information better. Caffeine is thought to improve memory by increasing the release of neurotransmitters such as dopamine and norepinephrine, which are involved in memory consolidation. What about caffeine dosages? At moderate doses, caffeine can cause mild side effects such as jitteriness, headache, and trouble sleeping. However, it is generally safe for most people when consumed in moderation. Consuming large amounts of caffeine can lead to more serious side effects such as anxiety, rapid heartbeat, and high blood pressure. What are the positive side effects of caffeine? Caffeine can also have some positive effects on your body. For example, it has been shown to improve mental alertness and performance. It can also help to increase physical endurance and stamina. How does caffeine increase endurance? Caffeine has been shown to improve physical endurance and stamina. In one study, it showed that caffeine improved a cyclist's time trial performance by an average of 3%. Another study found that caffeine helps runners to run faster and farther. Caffeine does this by increasing the release of stored energy in the muscles, which helps to delay fatigue during exercise. While caffeine does have some benefits, it is important to remember that it is a stimulant and should be consumed in moderation. Large amounts of caffeine can lead to more serious side effects. What about the side effects of large amounts of caffeine? Large amounts of caffeine can lead to more serious side effects such as anxiety, rapid heartbeat, and high blood pressure. Caffeine is a stimulant, and too much of it can cause negative side effects. If you are sensitive to caffeine, it is best to avoid it altogether. What about caffeine and high blood pressure? Caffeine causes an increase in blood pressure and heart rate by stimulating the sympathetic nervous system. This increases the activity of adrenaline, which leads to these effects. Caffeine can also constrict blood vessels, which can further increase blood pressure. Long-term consumption of caffeine can lead to chronic high blood pressure. If you have hypertension, it is best to avoid caffeine or consume it in moderation. Is caffeine addictive? Caffeine is a psychoactive substance and can be addictive. Regular consumption of caffeine can lead to tolerance, which means that you need to consume more and more to get the same effect. This can lead to dependence and withdrawal symptoms when you stop consuming it. Caffeine withdrawal symptoms include headaches, fatigue, and irritability. If you are trying to cut down on your caffeine intake, it is best to do so gradually to avoid these symptoms. Caffeine is a common ingredient in many beverages and foods. It is important to be aware of the caffeine content of what you're consuming. Caffeine is found in coffee, tea, energy drinks, soda, chocolate, and some over-the-counter medications. The amount of caffeine in these products can vary widely. For example, a cup of coffee can contain anywhere from 30 to 300 milligrams of caffeine, while a can of soda typically contains around 40 milligrams. it is best to limit your intake of caffeine to 400 milligrams per day. What about caffeine and anxiety? Caffeine can cause anxiety in some people. Caffeine is a stimulant and can increase the activity of adrenaline. Since caffeine is a stimulant and can speed up the heart rate and breathing, this can lead to feelings of panic and anxiety. There are many decaffeinated options available that can still provide the benefits of caffeine without the negative side effects. If you are prone to anxiety, it is best to avoid caffeine or consume it in moderation. Caffeine can also make it difficult to fall asleep, which can further aggravate symptoms of anxiety. If you are struggling with anxiety, it is important to talk to your doctor about ways to manage it. There are many effective treatments available that can help you to feel better and cope with your symptoms. What about caffeine and energy drinks? Energy drinks are becoming increasingly popular, especially among young adults. These drinks usually contain high levels of caffeine and other stimulants, such as guarana and taurine. Energy drinks can have a number of side effects, including increased heart rate and blood pressure, as well as insomnia, anxiety, and stomach problems. Some energy drinks also contain large amounts of sugar, which can contribute to weight gain and tooth decay. If you're considering consuming an energy drink, it's important to be aware of the potential risks and talk to your doctor first. What about caffeine and stomach problems? Caffeine can cause stomach problems in some people. Caffeine is a stimulant and can speed up the movement of food through the digestive system. This can lead to diarrhea, cramping, and bloating. Caffeine can also make it difficult to absorb nutrients from food, which can lead to malnutrition. If you have stomach problems, it is best to avoid caffeine or consume it in moderation. There are many decaffeinated options available that can still provide the benefits of caffeine without any negative side effects. What about caffeine and getting to sleep? Caffeine can make it difficult to fall asleep and can cause insomnia. Caffeine is a stimulant and works by blocking the action of adenosine. Adenosine is a naturally occurring substance that makes you feel sleepy. By blocking its action, caffeine keeps you from feeling sleepy and can make it difficult to fall asleep. If you have trouble sleeping, it is best to avoid caffeine or consume it earlier in the day. Caffeine can also cause nightmares and disrupt your sleep cycle, leading to fatigue during the day. If you are struggling with insomnia, it is important to talk to your doctor about ways to manage it. There are many effective treatments available that can help you get the rest that you need. What about caffeine and pregnancy? If you are pregnant, it is best to avoid caffeine altogether. Caffeine can cross the placenta and enter the bloodstream of the fetus. This can lead to a number of problems such as increased heart rate and restlessness. Caffeine can also affect the baby's sleep patterns and feeding habits. Caffeine can also increase the risk of miscarriage and other complications. If you are pregnant, it is best to talk to your doctor about whether or not you should use caffeine. Caffeine can also be passed through breast milk and should be consumed in moderation while breastfeeding. If you're considering consuming caffeine while breastfeeding, it's important to be aware of the potential risks and talk to your doctor first. There are many decaffeinated options available that can still provide the benefits of caffeine without the negative side effects. What about caffeine and headaches? Caffeine can help to relieve headaches and migraines. Caffeine is a vasoconstrictor, which means it narrows the blood vessels. This can help to reduce inflammation and pain. Caffeine can also help to increase the effectiveness of pain relievers, such as ibuprofen and acetaminophen. If you are struggling with headaches or migraines, it's important to talk to your doctor about ways to manage them. There are many effective treatments available that can help you feel better and cope with your symptoms. What about caffeine and heart disease? Caffeine can be a risk factor for heart disease. Caffeine is a stimulant that can increase your heart rate and blood pressure, which can lead to an increased risk of heart attack and stroke. If you have heart disease, it is best to avoid caffeine or consume it in moderation. Many decaffeinated options are available to give you the same benefits without any negative side effects. Caffeine is a stimulant and can have both positive and negative effects on the body. Caffeine can help improve your mental alertness and physical performance, and it can also relieve headaches and migraines. However, caffeine can also be a risk factor for certain health conditions, such as heart disease, cancer, and osteoporosis. If you're concerned about your health when it comes to caffeine, make an appointment with your doctor today. Please consider subscribing to Naturally Healthy and don't forget to watch our next video right here.